Andrew Whitworth here on the Rich Eisen Show, fresh off of hanging out in Oxnard, California with the Rams and the Cowboys as they're joint practicing. Andrew, this footage made it all over the place. Look who is chatting it up. That would be Micah Parsons and Andrew Whitworth. A little walk and talk. All right. Look at you. We're walking, we're talking, we're sharing. And what are we talking about, Andrew? What are we talking about here, Andrew?
I mean, the first thing I take away, Rich, is, gosh, I look petite these days. I mean, I love it. I just, I know.
You're still way bigger than Micah Parsons, man, and you're not letting yourself go
Rich.
either, Andrew. You're not letting yourself go. I saw you at the American Century Championship. I saw the way you were going about your business.
I'm trying.
That said,
but no,
what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, you're just trying to get it. I reached out to him earlier in camp and just really, we've had a relationship. It was, well documented a few years ago. We worked together in the offseason some. And so, we've always kind of kept that relationship and I just reached out and checked on him, man. I mean, this game can take a lot of stress on you. These contract situations aren't fun, man. They're miserable for guys. And you just don't know what the right answer is, right? You look at a guy like him, you get drafted with an expectation to come here and do something. You've way outdone that. And you've been the player that a team hoped that you'd be when they drafted you and they spent the draft capital on you. And you've been that times 10. You've been one of the best, and so you would expect that same franchise that drafted you is going to be doing more than anything they can in the world. They want to take care of you, show you they appreciate you, and then we move on and let you be the leader of this defense we drafted you here to be a part of. And instead, it just seems to be these long, drawn-out processes with the Cowboys. And, I think that he's frustrated. He's upset. I mean, anybody would in those kind of situations. You've earned the opportunity. You don't feel like you're getting it. And you can just feel that he wants to be out there with his teammates having fun. He was talking to me about the young guys and some of the young rushers that he can't wait to kind of teach them a couple things, and they've got a lot of promise, and he's really excited about seeing some of those guys and how they're going to develop in their career. So, man, he just wants to be out there with his teammates doing what he loves to do, and get this whole contract thing behind him because he loves playing the game. He loves competing. So right there, he was telling me about, man, I want to go against these guys. I want to go against different guys. I want to feel what these Rams O-linemen are like, so I can get a gauge of where I'm at in my progression, So it's just, it's a frustrating time when you're in these kind of situations and all you want to do is play football and get taken care of, and you feel like you've earned your spot.
Well, how resolute can you call him right now, Andrew? Because he said he doesn't want to play there anymore, and I understand that's an emotional response potentially. What do you think? What'd you get the sense from him?
I got the sense, really honestly, that it's one of those situations that it feels like this one feels a little different. Will it probably have the same ending? I'm guessing that if the contract gets worked out right before week one, listen, the Cowboys clearly after watching that scrimmage, they need him desperately. So I would imagine it gets worked out.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Well, you know what, Rich? You know what they looked like yesterday? They looked like a football team that I love Shoddy, and I think he's going to do a great job. But right now, they look like a football team that for the last couple of years has put their best players on blast at the beginning of the season for trying to get paid for things they've earned. And they've continued to extend it and make it ugly. And they look like, hey, man, if our best players who show up and do it in the best way possible get treated like this, who else on the team has any possibility of getting rewarded or feeling like they're going to get treated a certain way? I think you start to create a culture where guys just feel underappreciated. And they look like that to me. They look like a team that's a little frustrated. Who's our leaders? Who's our guys? Who's the guys that set in the tone for how we compete and practice every single day? You need those guys out there. And I feel bad for Coach Schottenheimer because it's one of those things. I want my best football player on the field every day going out and showing us how in the world we're going to be great. I look back at Aaron Donald's contract situation, some of the ones we've had with the Rams, like it was different because you had other veteran leaders in that situation, and it was a happy situation. It was, hey, we want AD here. There is nowhere else he's going to be. We love this guy. We're trying to figure out the contract. So no one's sitting there worried about their guy. This is ugly. It feels like, man, Micah wants out of here now. Nothing's really, good being said on either side about that whole situation. It just makes all the guys worry like, man, are we doing all of this and we're going to be 6-11. You know what I mean? And that feeling is real. And you creating the doubt in your football team of how good they're going to be when you're taking their best player and putting him on blast every single day. And so I think that, to me, it's one of those things, man. Like, this is who you drafted. This is who you wanted. He's lived up to that expectation. You take care of him and you say, hey, man, go lead our football team for the next 4 to 5 years and let's go win football games.
That sounds so simple. It really does. Well, and again,
sounds like it.
The example I've been using here over the last few days is Steelers. They could have said, TJ, listen,
yeah,
you're past 30, and we've got concerns about the back end of this deal. And yeah, I know that we've got a 41-year-old quarterback, and we need to all get in this Rodgers boat together. But we've got to talk about guaranteed dollars. We got to talk about back ends. We got to figure this out, and we're gonna play it out with you, and we're gonna make you hold in. And we're gonna make Tomlin answer questions about it, which would be entertaining for us in the media. And we're gonna have Rodgers get asked questions about it. We're gonna have him walk around in his pajamas, and we're just gonna play this thing out. We're gonna stretch it out, and that's just the way we're gonna do it. And instead, they did the exact opposite. It's totally removed. That's not a question at all. But this is just the way I guess the Cowboys do things. And in that regard, the fans and all of us in the media, we go through the roller coaster of when Jerry Jones makes himself available to the media, which is always great, at least for us. And after the initial trade demand, he told Cowboys fans through the media, don't lose any sleep over it. And yesterday, when he was asked if he was confident of him being there in week 1 on the Thursday Night Football opening, he said basically, absolutely not confident about it now because it's up to Micah. So what's your confidence level having been there, done that, spoken to Micah, walked around? What do you think?
My usual would be, I put this in kind of the Cincinnati category of Trey Hendrickson, is like, oh man, it's going to get done. The guy's too good.
Right.
This is just how these things go. It gets ugly for a little while with certain organizations. That's how they choose to do it. I don't know in this one. Something just tells me that these two maybe don't get along great. Like I just feel like there's a disconnect in whether Jerry likes him a whole lot in the sense of like how they're going to do business together and whether Micah feels respected. And so I'm interested to see how this one plays out, because I think Micah is one of those guys that it's less about the money. It's less about all those things. And I'm not saying that's not important, but the disrespect and just kind of the dismissal makes him not even think about the zeros and the money. It makes him be like, wait, like I don't let anybody treat me that way. And so I did just kind of have that feeling, like knowing Micah and how he is, like, man, he wants to play ball. He cares about getting out there and competing. And so to kind of hear the dismissal of these things, I think that kind of probably frustrates him, is my guess. And I would be that way too. I was very much that way as a player. Like I want to be respected first and foremost. I mean, I always tell young guys when I was in a locker room, you're a man before you're anything else. And don't ever forget that. And so, who you are every day matters, and how you allow people to treat you, you coach it or you allow it. And that's just the facts. And so, if dollars are the most important thing to you, then let that be known. And if they're not, respect is the most important thing, then stand on it. And so I think this is one of those situations where both guys are kind of putting their feet in the ground. And that's why I think it might get a little ugly.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.